Welcome to Gifted Underachievers, the podcast for mid-level creatives with delusional ambitions. In this segment, James and I talk about what happens when somebody who's a self-employed solopreneur needs a backup for their business. Perhaps business godparent, if you will. Hope you enjoy.
So Pat,
Yes, James.
you've got some shit going on.
Yeah, I've got some shit going.
And, as we were talking about it prior to pushing record, we started thinking about when you've got some shit going on that you've really got to pay attention to. Having community, having network maybe isn't enough.
Yeah. So by shit going on, we mean my mom is dying, basically. She had a brain bleed, which, kind of, it's like a stroke, I guess. So tough decisions have to be made. I'm lucky. I have 3 siblings. We get along. For sure, we're not like a poster family. We're all pretty weird. But we do get along. And my little brother flew in from New Zealand yesterday, and that is not something that you arrange within 24 hours if it's not serious. We just don't know what's going to happen with that. And as a self-employed person, I really rely on scheduling my shit, my work stuff. I cannot leave things to chance. If I say, well, I'll read that person's manuscript when I have time, that manuscript will not get read because I don't have time. I have to make the time. So this has been a period of extreme kind of untetheredness in terms of my attachment, my ability to kind of lose myself in work, to get stuff done in a way that feels really satisfying, to sort of ground myself. I really like what I
Mhm,
do, and so
mhm.
it's very good for me, and all of that has gone out the window. I've had to let people down. I've had to email clients and say, I'm sorry this is happening. I had a coaching session booked yesterday where I'm the coach, just to clarify. As weird as that sounds. And I had to cancel at almost no notice. And so here's what we were talking about before is that, there's these large communities of, there's the Editors Association of Earth, which is I think a
Mhm.
Facebook group. I think it's got 28,000 people. I actually don't know. I'm making that up. There's all kinds of different groups, Editors Tea Club, there's a few hundred. And that's great for sort of the hive mind. Oh, does anybody know a good cover designer? Or, what kind of monitor setup do you use? Or how do you manage getting a paid vacation in? As in, you pay yourself into a fund and then take a vacation while you're not making any money. Stuff like that. But what became clear to me so I WhatsApped you, was it yesterday or the day before?
Maybe the day before.
Yeah, I don't know because time got wiggly. I don't even know what
Mhm.
day it is. It's Thursday, right? So, and I just said I can't do anything. Like I cannot work because I can't. I'm not at work. I'm in the hospital, and you just did everything. You edited the shit that I was supposed to edit. You did the images. You did all the text. You uploaded it. And this is not a small investment of time when things are, not quite ready. It can take a few hours to get everything done. And so I was like, "Ugh, you're such a mensch," And I put a note on Substack, which is where Gifted Achievers,
Mhm.
Gifted Underachievers hangs out, because I just thought this has got to be a thing for other sort of self-employed
Mhm.
creatives that, who knows what they're doing? Who knows their stuff enough to be able to jump in and have their back when shit goes sideways in their personal lives.
Mhm.
And the thing about our arrangement is we're collaborating, right? We're co-hosts, co-creators of a podcast. So we're collaborating on everything. We create the content together, we divvy up the editing, all that stuff. But individually, as writers and editors, nobody knows what I do. Nobody knows my email passwords except me. Nobody knows how to update my websites and put a note on saying Pat died or whatever. If anything goes sideways, there's nobody has your back because you didn't put it in place, right? You didn't And so I
Mhm.
was thinking, if this collaboration that we're doing can give me that sense of emotional safety when I
Mhm.
can't do what I'm supposed to be doing for our joint project, wouldn't it be great to have a backup person for your business? Somebody in the same
Mhm.
industry who understands. And I
Yep.
even thought about Kath Montstream, one of our guests who's a visual artist. She shares a studio with her daughter, and if anything
Mhm.
happened to Kath, you know that her daughter would be the person who would
Mhm.
understand everything because they share a studio, they're both artists. So I just wondered, I just thought that kinda should be a thing because a larger community cannot give you that.
Yeah. We had this really nice conversation around that where I can't step in and do your editing, right?
No.
And you can't step in and do my writing and editing and all that kind of stuff. And nobody can step in and do somebody's art, but you can have that person who knows precisely what it's like to be an editor, or to be, an artist or whatever it is, who can step in and at least put out fires, at least kind of handle stuff.
Yeah.
And certainly doing something collaborative, like if you're an actor,
Mhm.
and you have to either be on stage or at a rehearsal or a tryout, you can have somebody who can step in and just take care of stuff so that you at least have that space of time to be able to go do what you need to do, and then you can race off and take care of the parent or the child or the
Yeah.
whatever that other fire is. And so often we talk about build community, have a network, and it's usually about growing your business and expanding opportunities.
Mhm.
But there's also this piece of this that you are indispensable to your own business.
Yeah.
You're also indispensable to other people.
Yeah.
And so if you have that person who can have your back, so if we weren't doing the podcast, maybe it would have been, hey, this thing has gone sideways. I can't be around. Here's a list of my clients. Can you please send them an email expressing what's going on? And maybe that
Mm.
feels like a little too much, but you would know that somebody who really, really understands editing and really understands that client dynamic
Yeah.
and relationship,
Yeah.
would be reaching out to these people.
Yeah. And the great thing about that is, you could for because that's sort of an administrative slash, communication thing, and you might think, "Oh, well, a VA could do that," but it's the questions that come back from clients that a VA can't necessarily do because they might be about the manuscript, and
Mhm.
I could give them my opinion as a developmental editor on like, "Oh, well, this might take this long," or, just stuff like that, or, it might be stuff that you need to know something about the business in order to
Right.
take the response beyond just a "here's the news" thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
If the question comes back, oh, this manuscript is due at the agent or the publisher next Friday. What do I do? Oh,
yeah,
okay, not a problem.
yeah,
Agents and publishers are flexible. Here's a very workable strategy that I would use,
yeah,
and it's not coming from like a random person. It's coming from somebody who understands it.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I don't know what to do with that information. I know only that it's kind of in my world, my radar, I guess now you might say
Mhm.
that something needs to be put in place,
Yeah.
because, we're only human. There's only 24 hours in a day. If you're spending 18 of
Mhm.
them at a hospital, you cannot run a business in the other 6. Uh,
Mhm.
so you need help, and so finding a like-minded person who agrees to be yours and you'll be theirs, and yeah, it could turn into a shit show if they're just going, "I need to go to Hawaii. Can you run my business?" But which is why the like-minded is important. But, I think there's room in there for some level of additional kind of security and support in a business,
Yeah.
even for a solo self-employed person.
Yeah, and it's good to know that somebody's got your back, and it's somebody again, not even your spouse is going to know what you do as well as somebody who does what you do,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly,
So
especially if you're
and
divorced.
yeah, it's make yeah yeah, or sibling, and it reminds me when you're in second grade and you go on the trip to go to the museum or something,
Oh, yeah.
they would always say you have your buddy, right?
Right.
So where's your buddy? Where's your buddy? Everybody
Yeah.
taken care of. So,
Yeah.
maybe there's some connection there to our nursery school selves.
That actually makes perfect sense. I still remember hoping I would be Brent Halfyard's buddy, in the, in the 1st grade lineup when we were holding hands with our buddies to get into the whatever it was, the bus. I was like, "Ooh,
Yeah, where's
ooh."
your bus buddy?
I was painfully shy, so I don't even remember what happened, but,
No.
I remember, "Ooh, that's you'd be a good buddy."
All right, I think that's it. Or is there another? Do we need to add more?
I don't feel like there's another aspect to it because it's still pretty amorphous in my mind, but I do feel
Mhm.
like it's gonna God help us if it becomes another experiment, but
Yeah,
it's gonna be something in my work life over the next year that I'm really gonna seriously look at.
yeah. Well, what is it? A godmother, godparent? It's like like a similar thing for
Right.
your creative
Yeah.
self.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Okay. Cool.
Thanks for listening to Gifted Underachievers, the podcast for mid-level creatives with delusional ambitions. Please come and check out our Substack at giftedunderachievers.substack.com and share the podcast with your friends. Until next time, have a great day.